by inch, play by play, till we're finished.
Welcome to the Gridiron Breakdown.
We don't have a real name for it? Well, let's give you media guys something to come up with.
What's your assignment?
Kill the quarterback. Hit the tight end so hard his girlfriend dies. Kill everyone.
The football podcast for the fans, by the fans, where we discuss the X's and O's of each week's premier football game.
We've got to be the dumbest team in America in terms of playing the game.
I thought you were gonna do one of these.
Your hosts are Jay and Alan.
And when was the last time 80,000 people showed up to see a kid do a chemistry experiment?
You play football like a Gennaro played football.
And Brian.
But they are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.
And Lindsay.
My favorite scene. I don't know what a Hokie is, but God is one of them. Go Virginia Tech.
Whichever one starts. Whichever ones don't, we'll back them up. Period. Cut and dry.
Cannot play with them. Cannot win with them. Cannot coach with them. Can't do it.
I can tell you how they feel about it. They don't like it. It's a lack of respect. It's not doing your homework and paying attention to what reality is.
Now, let's get to the breakdown.
Looks to me like they're coming up with a plan.
Hello, you play to win the game.
It's time for the Gridiron Breakdown. Welcome to the 2020 season. I'm Jay.
I'm Alan.
I'm Brian.
I'm Lindsay.
And we are here to get you ready for what has got to be the strangest football season any of us have ever seen. And the eternal question, how long are you guys going to do the show for? For as long as there's something on a field somewhere. We're going to be here to talk about it each week. Not only are we a podcast, though, we are now a video cast as well. You can follow us on Facebook or YouTube. Just search for the Gridiron Breakdown, and you can see our wonderful smiling faces as we're here every week to break down and talk about the game. So I want you to get a good feel for the hosts, and I'm so happy to have the three people on this show with me this year to break down all this stuff, and I can't wait for you to meet them. So first up, the co-creator of the Gridiron Breakdown, the man with the red elephant glove on speed dial, the myth, the legend himself, Alan. Please say hi, introduce yourself to the folks.
Hey, Jay, it is a pleasure to be back for the 12th year of the Gridiron Breakdown. Somehow we've managed to stay on the air this long. When I look at a game, the main things I look at is I like to look at the line of scrimmage, the offensive, defensive line, to see who has the advantage there. Because while the game has gone spread and people are trying to find mismatch wherever, it's still one in the trenches. I also like to dive deep into kind of obscure stats and look for any sort of edge. And Jay, I'm the king of the log shot. You call it the danger zone, upset special, whatever you want. I have a knack for finding those games out each week and letting y'all know. It's going to be a pleasure doing another year of the breakdown with you guys.
And it's going to be an absolute blast. And like you said, Alan, we started this thing back in 2008 when it seemed like only a handful of teams were running the spread. Now, even Alabama's doing it, so everybody's doing it now. But always fun to talk about football with you, my man. Next up, our resident NFL expert, the curator of Brian's Vinyl Records, which you should check out on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter, from the Great Lakes of Minnesota, Brian.
Hi, guys. Twitter, no, I don't use that very well. But you can do the other stuff. That'd be great. So this is my second year now on the Gridiron Breakdown, and I'm happy to be here every week. I think we did it, every 4 weeks last year, 3, something like that. And so it'll be interesting to see how we go about it this year with the NFL. I'm curious to see how long the season lasts. I know everyone else is. I think with college, we're going to see the seasons go their full extent because they have a lot more control over their players than the NFL coaches do of theirs. So I am curious to see how it goes this year with COVID, with infections. I know they're putting up a lot of stink right now with false positive testing. And so that's going to be a story to watch this year. It's going to be interesting. And then on top of that, you've got some real fun stuff with Brady and Gronk moving from New England to Tampa Bay. How will they do there? That's going to be interesting to watch. I'm curious on that as well.
You've also seen the resurgence of the run game in the NFL. I mean, the Titans, the Ravens, the 49ers, all these teams are like power run teams now.
Yeah, I think it's real interesting because for a long time it was focused on getting elite wide receivers and elite quarterbacks. But now I think a lot of teams are recognizing that as long as they have one elite wide receiver and some key bit players on the other side of that ball, they can now run the ball down your throat again. Where teams focused for so long on stopping that run, that running game almost became irrelevant, I want to say, in the game plan. So it's nice to see we've got so many star running backs again. The big question is going to be, does it take a big toll on them? We'll have to wait and see on that. It's a different game than it was when running games were running all over things back in the old days.
Absolutely. Brian, glad to have you on the show every week now, but we should mention you were there with us from the beginning too, because back in the show's humble beginnings on Blog Talk Radio, your show, The Daily Suplex, we traded ads with each other, and that's how we built our audiences, honestly. So you've really been a part of the breakdown a long time before we ever had you on the show.
I played behind the scenes role, so I'll go with that. But I didn't really contribute much else.
Well, our final panelist for the year, newest member of the crew, the only person on the show who actually marched on the field of a Sugar Bowl, a bona fide star with credits ranging from the stage to the screen, our football queen, Lindsay. Welcome to the Gridiron Breakdown.
Thanks, Jay. What an introduction. I'm really excited to be part of this Gridiron Breakdown this year. Excuse me. I have been a football fan since high school. I was in the marching band before that. All my brothers played football. And then, as you mentioned, through college, also in the marching band at Virginia Tech. So I've seen quite a lot of football. I look for a lot of things when breaking down a game. I'm with Alan on the line of scrimmage. I'm really looking at who's got the best control of their line of scrimmage. But I also really like to geek out over rivalries and dig deep over why and into why those became what they are and how they're evolving. So that's kind of my thing.
This is going to be so much fun. Such cool perspectives. And lest he thinks he's getting out of this, Brian's going to be picking these college football games with us too. So if you're new to the show, this is how we tend to roll on the breakdown. Alan, Lindsay, and I each week will bring a feature college football game to the stage. We'll break it down, give you what we think are the key matchups, the interesting stats from our point of view, give a pick at the end, and then the rest of the horn will go around and do a one-sentence weigh in and then pick as well. We'll keep up with the picks record throughout the year. Alan edged me out last year because those bowl games didn't go my way, but we'll see if I can make up ground this year on him. But it'll be fun with 3 more people in. Then Brian will bring us the featured NFL game of the week. He'll break that one all down for us. Alan, Lindsay, and I will weigh in on it. And then to wrap it all up, yours truly will put together a curated lightning round of college football and NFL games that I just think are fun. They may not be the biggest games of each week, but for some reason they hold some particular interest. So in a normal year when travel was a little different, like if Oregon State was playing Army, I'm putting that on the schedule because that's such a weird matchup. We got to talk about it. We won't get some of those this year, but we still are going to get some fun ones. And that's what we will weigh in on every week here on the Gridiron Breakdown. So it's going to be a blast. Lots of ways you can follow the show. But before we get into wrapping everything up, any final words from our panelists, anything you want folks to know about what they can expect from the show this year?
Well, guys, I think this is going to be the weirdest college football season any of us have ever seen. It's 9 teams in the AP top 25 will not be playing. It's going to be odd. Only 3 conferences are playing, or 3 Power 5 are playing. We're going to try to bring the best games. Thank goodness we won't have to end up breaking down a UMass UConn game, which I think we did at one point last year just for fun.
We got desperate, yeah.
But I think it's going to be a great season. I'll look forward to it. I just need some football. I need the distraction. I'll look forward to digging into these games and breaking it down with you guys.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. I'm in Minnesota and my team is not playing this year, or if they do, they're going to play somehow in the spring, which I don't think that's going to work out at all, but we'll see. So I really have no rooting interest this year in anything college football, which is kind of sad because with my son, he's now 13. He's going to be 13 years old. He's gotten really into college football and especially the Gophers. And now that they're not playing, he's really bummed about it. So
Got to pick an SEC team, man. That's just none from
This
Mississippi.
is not happening.
Don't go to that side. Yeah, I'm really excited to see how it's going to be wild. I'm, first season for me on the podcast and the weirdest season ever. So
right. We couldn't have found a stranger way to bring you on. So
yeah, I'm pretty pumped. We'll see how it goes.
It's going to be a blast, no doubt. And we'll be here each week with you all to break it down. So how can you follow the show? Well, go to the gridironbreakdown.com. That will take you to the anchor.fm site where you can find all the places you can download the podcast, subscribe on Apple, Google, Spotify, you name it. We're on the podcast app. You can get the audio version there. Or if you want the video version, search the Gridiron Breakdown on Facebook, like the page, you'll get the notifications. Search for the Gridiron Breakdown on YouTube. You'll also get notifications. Hit that subscribe thing and hit the notification bell on there, and you'll know when we're going to have the live streams up, or you can watch the video replays of the show. You can also email the show, thegridironbreakdown@gmail.com. I love it when people email the show and tell us how completely wrong we are to not pick, Pitt or something. Matt Presto talking to you out there listening, and then realizing that no, we're actually right most of the time. So we'll see how it goes. It should be a lot of fun, but I'm really looking forward to chopping it up with you three. And we also have some other friends join us from time to time on the show, depending on how things go. But I'm excited to see what comes of this season. Brian, you said something interesting. You think college football is going to be able to push forward and get it done more than the NFL. I think the NFL guys are all kind of bubbling up right now, the way the NBA has anyway. But as more college campuses go to full online instruction, they are kind of creating bubbles for the football team, whether they intended to or not. So we may get full seasons out of both. The College Football Playoff Committee is adamant that they're going to have a playoff. They're going to release rankings. So when that all starts happening, we'll figure it out. But if there ever was a year that a big old asterisk was going to be next to the national champion, it's probably this year. The only way you could get it more is if Cam Newton and Gene Chizik came back together. But that's another story for another day.
Well, Jay, I think Alabama's already went ahead and preemptively claimed this national championship, haven't they? I got the T-shirt in the back.
I mean, all I know is whatever third world country y'all send those shirts to is going to be really happy to get them. So because there may be some other teams out there that have something to say about it, but we will see in the coming weeks. So folks, again, all the ways you can check it out, start with the gridironbreakdown.com. That's a great way to follow the show. And we look forward to seeing you all coming up in the coming season. It's going to be an absolute blast. So for Lindsay, Brian, and Alan, I'm Jay. Thank you for listening and tuning in to the Gridiron Breakdown. We look forward to talking to you again soon here on all the formats where you can catch the show. Everybody take it easy, stay safe out there, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you for listening to the Gridiron Breakdown.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? I just hope we can win a game.
Follow us on our website, thegridironbreakdown.com, or on Facebook.
We do things around here my way. You understand that? You're going to be second string all your life, boy. I don't want your life.
Tune in next week for more analysis and opinion from our hosts.
Now you all scared to ask another question?
They're not going to keep him off the field tonight.